This is especially for all you little ones out there who want Nanny to tell you a story. Today's story is about a sad little duckling that was laughed at and chased away, all because the other birds and animals thought he was ugly. I will call my story The Ugly Duckling. Far, far away there lived a mummy duck who day after day sat on her eggs to keep them warm until they hatched. Mummy duck waited patiently, looking after her 4 eggs. One of the eggs was bigger than the other 3, and the shell was white, while the other 3 were speckled. The other ducks around saw the odd one out egg and laughed at it, saying to Mummy Duck, "What on earth have you got in that egg? A dinosaur?" Went off quacking together and laughing. But that did not stop Mummy Duck from leaving all 4 eggs and keeping them warm and safe until they hatched out. One sunny morning, as Mummy Duck was refreshing the nest, she heard a gentle cracking sound. With a big smile and warm eyes, she waited, watching excitedly as the egg slowly cracked until a hole appeared at the top. And before her eyes, a dear little yellow chick appeared and climbed out of the eggshell. The little chick slowly walked to her mummy and snuggled into her warm feathers. "Oh, what a dear little baby," Mummy thought, and lovingly put a protective wing over it. No sooner had she done that, she heard another cracking sound, and another. Out from the 2 smaller eggs peeked 2 little orange beaks, followed by 2 little yellowish bodies. "My dear babies," exclaimed Mother Duck, "come to Mummy and meet your sister." Waddling up to Mummy, they cheeped and cheeped excitedly at each other. The other ducks that lived in the reeds around the pond hurried over to see the new babies. "Oh, they are so sweet! You must be so proud of what about that bigger egg?" Just as they said that, a cracking in the egg appeared, and all the ducks gathered around to see the duckling appear. Bit by bit, the egg cracked open, and a brown beak appeared, followed by a tatty brown body. "Oh my goodness, what an ugly-looking duckling!" exclaimed all the ducks together. Mummy Duck went up to the duckling and put a wing over him and said to the ducks circling around them, "How unkind of you all to say that of my baby. I love him no matter what he looks like, so go away until you can say something nice." All the ducks waddled off, saying unkind things about the newly hatched duckling. "Huh," said one of the ducks, "it's not our fault he's so ugly." Mummy Duck said to her babies, "Come on, children, I will take you for a lovely swim together in your very first swim." All the other ducks and some frogs watched as the family of ducks swam around the pond playing together. The 3 yellow chicks swam up to Mummy Duck and cheeped, "Mummy, do we have to swim with him? Because he is ugly, and the other ducks are just laughing at us all." "He might not be as pretty as you, but he is a faster swimmer," said Mummy, smiling at her big baby. One nasty duck said, "You are too ugly to stay on this farm. Why don't you go away?" "Leave him alone," quacked Mummy Duck. "He can swim better than any of you." But the other ducks laughed and picked at the poor duckling, and he did run away as fast as he could. On his way out of the farm, he came across some geese who said, "What sort of bird are you?" and swam off laughing. The poor little duckling thought, "Am I really as ugly as that?" And a tear slid from his eye. The duckling rang again wanting to get as far away from the farm as possible. He saw a tiny-looking hutch. He felt so tired, he curled up next to it and rested. The next morning, he was awoken by a clucking hen who asked, "Can you lay eggs?" "I can swim really fast, but I can't lay eggs," said Duckling. "Then this is not a home for you. Go away," clucked the hen. The little duckling was so upset he ran until he found a quiet riverbank with reeds growing all around it. He hid in amongst the reeds, watching the frogs jump and the fish swim. Then he looked up at the blue sky and saw 3 beautiful birds flying above him. "Oh, I wish I could be like them," he thought. "Then no one would call me ugly." It wasn't long before autumn came. Leaves fell from the trees and squirrels were gathering nuts, ready for winter, when it was harder to get food. Weeks later, the weather began to change. It was so cold the snow fell and the pond iced over. The duckling was so cold and hungry, he looked for somewhere to rest and sleep. He found a patch of reeds by a pond and gathered together some dry hay. He made a warm place to settle and slept soundly. It was not long before the weather began to change again. The snow melted and the sun could be seen amongst the clouds. He heard birds tweeting and saw rabbits hopping. The duckling was so hungry he started swimming up the river. Ahead of him, on the water, there was 3 beautiful birds he had seen flying above him. The duckling thought the birds were so beautiful, he would have to say hello, even if they told him to go away. He swam up to them and said, "Hello. I had to tell you how beautiful you are, but don't worry, I'll go away if you want me to." "Why would we tell you to go away? You are beautiful too," said the 3 swans. "What, me? Beautiful? Everyone calls me ugly." The 3 swans smiled and said, "Look at your reflection in the water." The duckling looked into the water and gasped, "Is that me? But I am a swan." Yes, you are, and a very beautiful one as well." The ugly duckling, who changed into a beautiful white sleek swan, swam and swam around the river, then decided to swim back to his mummy and sisters, to the pond on the farm. The swan glided up the stream and onto the pond. All the ducks, birds, and small animals made way for him because he was so beautiful. He finally found his mummy and sisters, who knew who he was and were so amazed at how beautiful he had become, and splashed around him excitedly. The ducks that had been so nasty said how sorry they were for being so unkind, and promised they would never be unkind to other ducklings or creatures ever again. And the swan went on to become a daddy himself, and told his ducklings his story, and that they all would grow into beautiful, white, sleek swans, and all who looked at them would admire their beauty. Join me next time for another story with Nanny. If you like Nanny's stories, please click like, and to make sure you don't miss any future Nanny's stories, press subscribe and don't forget the notification bell. Till next time, be good.